Please hang on, guys. Let me plug my phone. I forgot I'm already recording. So today we're looking at fair value gap. And fair value gap is a strategy that aligns well with SMC. Fair value gap is said to be the a type of trading strategy or indicator. Mostly people call it an indicator, but it is a strategy as well. Any which way you deem it fit to call it. I will call it an indicator because I feel like it's not worth to be a strategy, but it's also a strategy. FVG works well with SMC, smart money concept. Fair value gaps helps to show market imbalance, right? Fair value gap helps to show the market imbalance between sells and buys, otherwise known as BC and CB. That's the term, right? Let me come again. Fair value gap is used to show market algorithm and also used to show market imbalance, right? Unnecessary market imbalance, or as in smaller English, unnecessary market gaps. It is also used to show imbalance between sales and buys. So we have buy-sells imbalance and we have sales-buy imbalance, otherwise known as BC and CB. That's the term, right? So let's quickly look at how to use fair value gaps and how to determine fair value gaps. Can anybody please write a recap of what I just said as a text message? Anybody? And then copy and paste in the group. Anybody? Can anybody just type out everything I just said? Let me repeat. Fair value gap is a trading strategy or a trading indicator that is used to show market imbalance between sales and buys. Fair value gap is also used to show market algorithm of the market, how market is moving, but most of all to show imbalance between buys and sells. It's also used to show imbalance between buy sells and sell buys, otherwise known as BC and CB. BC, BISI, buy imbalance and sells imbalance, and CB, sells imbalance and buys imbalance. Okay, so I'm going to clear this. Today we were using CHFJPY, for example, imbalance sales and imbalance. So that's, so somebody asked you to explain, that's what you said, imbalance between sales and buys in a nutshell. Okay, cool. None of you like writing things out here. But anyways, Douglas, you made an effort, so thank you for writing that out. So we'll be using Euro CHF as an example, CHFJPY. Currently, I'm looking at it at a 1 hour time frame, right? First of all, whenever you want to trade, regardless of the type of strategy you want to use, what is the first thing? What is the first thing you have to look at? Anybody? What is the first thing you have to look at whenever you want to trade? Regardless of the strategy, regardless of the pattern you want, regardless of the pattern it is, regardless of the strategy you want to use. Okay, thank you. I can see a lot of you saying trend line. Good. Yes, trend line is the first thing you want to look at. And you want to look at what is the trend of the market, right? What is the trend of the market? Currently, CHFJPY is buying, right? Currently, CHFJPY is on an uptrend, right? So that's the first thing we want to look at in terms of before we go into any strategy or any indicator that we want to look at, so that you will know the overall trend of the market. Now, I just checked this trend on a 1 hour time frame. Doesn't mean that it will be the same thing on a 4 hour as well. But you can always, as much as possible, confirm the trend. Currently, it is an uptrend even on a 4 hour time frame, right? It's still giving uptrend movements even on a 4 hour time frame, right? So it's an uptrend. So CHFJPY in the longest and longest of run will buy, is buying, has been buying. It has been buying since July the 12th. On Wednesday last week, CHFJPY has been buying, right? We'll look at it on a daily time frame as well. Look at it, it's been buying since July the 12th on a daily time frame. In fact, on a daily time frame, it's only green candles we are seeing. Reverse is the case if you're looking at it on a 1 hour time frame, right? So let's go back to on a daily time frame. On a daily time frame, it has been buying. In fact, it has been buying since March the 17th this year. CHFJPY has been buying since March the 17th this year. And why buying? It has been maintaining support, and beautifully maintaining support since March the 17th this year. And why maintaining support as well? CHFJPY as well has also been maintaining resistance while doing so. CHFJPY has been maintaining resistance, maintaining resistance, maintaining resistance, maintaining resistance while doing so since March the 17th on a daily time frame. On a weekly time frame, it has been doing the same as well. After buying since January the 9th, it has been buying since January the 9th. So I don't think we should see any form of sell with CHFJPY anytime soon, right? But we are not monthly or weekly traders. So we will not look at it. We are not swing traders. We are not monthly traders. We don't trade on months. Even on a monthly time frame, it has been buying. So sincerely, I don't see CHFJPY coming down soon for any type of sell, right? So let's go back to 1 hour time frame that we are possible to look at. Now, in as much as it has been buying, within the lower time frame, there have been sells and buys. In as much as on the overall time frame, CHFJPY has been buying. Within the lower time frame, there have been sales as well, right? And within the last one week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks, I'm sure there have been some period where we have bought and sold CHFJPY. In fact, say CHFJPY was given as a trade yesterday. Can anybody please remind me what was it, a buy or a sell? Was it a buy or a sell? I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Today, this morning also. Yeah, this morning. Ralph or the academy gave the trade on CHFJPY. Was it a buy or a sell? Or nobody can remember? Okay, so it was a buy. Okay, thank you. So it was a buy, and yeah, so I think maybe that buy was from somewhere around. This is only 1 hour time frame. So let me look at only 4 hour time frame. Yesterday was 18th. Okay, I think the buy was around. I think the buy was around. Did he go into profit or not? Yes or no? Did he go into profit or not? Yes. Yes. Okay, so still going. Okay, still moving into profit. Amazing. Now, fair value gaps. After determining your trend, your support and your resistance, one of the next thing you want to determine is your fair value gap. Honestly speaking, this market got to a resistance level. I was expecting a drop. Honestly speaking, even you were, I'm sure you were expecting a drop, right? Honestly speaking. But all of a sudden, the market started buying and reversing from here. Reason, I honestly don't know why, but this is Forex for you, and anything can happen. Honestly speaking, I was expecting this sell to continue. I was expecting this sell to continue. I was expecting this sell to continue, but for some reason, it did not. And it bought, which is fine. But anybody would have said it would have sold, right? Because I mean, you can see the uptrend and downtrend and uptrends and downtrend, right? But let's look at it from a fair value gap point of view. How do you find fair value gap? It's an indicator anyways. Go to indicator, type fair value gap by Lux Algo. Favorite it. Once you do so, it automatically comes to the list of your favorited indicators, metrics, and strategies, right? Remember, XMC and fair value gaps actually work hand in hand. SMC, fair value gap, and other blocks work hand in hand as well. The next training we'll look at is other block, and that will be next week, Wednesday. Remember, anything indicator or strategy will be on Wednesdays now. So fair value gap now works hand in hand with SMC, but tonight we are looking at specifically fair value gap. Now, again, what is fair value gap? First of all, once you do the fair value gap stuff, one of the things you want to do is to come to setting and increase your threshold to 5%. Increase your threshold to 5%. Reason you are doing that is for increment, for that green lines you just saw to be bigger so that you'll be able to see it well. It's supposed to show. I don't know why it's not showing. Let me reload this page. Did anybody understand how I got here? Did anybody understand how I got here? Yeah? So we are good. Good. Let's recap on the meaning of FVG. Fair value gap simply means the gap or the market imbalance between buys and sells in a market, right? Fair value gap simply means the market imbalance in a market or in a particular market algorithm. Fair value gap also simply means the gap that exists between markets. Fair value gap is used to show gaps that exist between buy sells and sell sells imbalance, otherwise known as CB and BC, right? So in this case now, how do you determine fair value gap, right? How do you determine fair value gap? How do you know something is going to buy? How do you know something is going to sell using fair value gap? Let's start off with this. In order for you to determine a fair value gap or call something a gap, there must be 3 candles. Please listen closely. There must be 3 candles. There is candle 1, and there is candle 2, and there is candle 3. The beginning of this candle has a gap between this 3rd candle. This middle candle is irrelevant. Let me come again. Let me say that again. To determine fair value gap, there must be 3 candles. Whether it's green candles or red candles, there must be 3 candles. The beginning of this candle cannot overlap the 3rd candle. The beginning of this candle, the tip of this 3rd candle cannot overlap, of this first candle cannot overlap the 3rd candle. That gap that exists between the first candle and the 3rd candle is known as fair value gap. There are 3 candles. 1, 2, 3. The tip of this candle cannot overlap this candle. The small tiny gap you are seeing here is known as fair value gap. Anything that makes this candle pass above this area, then it's not more a fair value gap because there's no gap between both of them. Right? Somebody is saying something. This is something I always wanted to ask. I'm not the perfect on the candle. I'm not that perfect on the candle. So in that fair value gap is where we do what? I don't understand though. I'm not even done. If there's 3 candles, let me look at it on a 30 minutes time frame. Of course, flow is very easy. It's somebody who is not paying attention that will not get. There is 3 candles. Candle 1, candle 2, and candle 3. This is where candle 1 touched last. This is where candle 3 touched last. The gap that exists between candle 1 and candle 3 is called fair value gap. It's simple. There is 1 candle. There is 2 candles. There is the 3rd candle. This is where the last candle touched. This is where the 3rd candle touched last. The gap that exists between this candle and the 3rd candle is the fair value gap. Did you understand? There is 1 candle. This is where the candle touched last. There is the 3rd candle after the 2nd candle, and this is where the 2nd candle touched last. The gap that exists between this candle and this candle is called fair value gap. Did we get it? Yes or no? Sufi said no. One more time. Okay. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. You are only looking at the 1st and the 3rd candle. Candle 1 stopped here. Candle 2, candle 3 stopped here. The gap that exists between candle 1, where candle 1 stopped, and where candle 2 stopped, is called fair value gap. Did we get it now? Did we? Yes. Okay, so good. I guess we are good to go. How do I buy after this gap has been created? After the gap has been created, Candle 3 is done. The next candle that appears after candle 3, if it comes back and retouches the box and retouches the gap, buy. If the fourth candle mistakenly, purposefully touches this box, just buy. You can see it. Candle 4 opened, market bought. There is a candle. There's another candle. There's the third candle. There is this is where the third candle stopped. This is where the first candle stopped. This is where the second candle stopped. A fair value gap then existed. The third candle opened and touched again, retraced back to the gap. Market bought. Market then retraced back and touched the gap again. Market even bought even further. Let's leave these ones. These ones are happening already. These ones have happened already. Please hang on. There was a candle. There was the third candle, the second candle. This is where the first candle ended. This is where the third candle ended. There's a gap. Market then tried to retouch this gap. Currently is buying. Right? Currently is buying. Although if you noticed clearly, this third candle has not really touched here. Right? This third candle did not really touch this box. This buy is not well assured. And you can even see red here in terms of sell. So sincerely, if the market moves to this area and touch this red zone here, I perceive a sell. Right? Don't forget that this red box here, or this red horizontal line here, is also fair value gap. But now in terms of sell. Right? It's also fair value gap, but now in terms of sell. Let's leave CHF GPY. All of us are currently on GBP CHF. And that buy might not last for a very long time. All of us minus me, I'm not on the trade. Even if I'm the one that gave the signal. So I saw no reason why I need to trade it. Let's look at the sell on GBP CHF. And let's look at what is likely to happen. Let's start from here. First candle, second candle, third candle. All right. The first candle started from here. Second candle here. The space that exists between both of them, sell. Sell already continuously happening. Same thing, first candle here, second candle here, third candle here, sell, obviously. Another thing, first candle here, second candle here, third candle here. There's already a gap between this and this. There's already a gap between this candle and this candle. Sell is continuously happening. Let's leave here because the sells, there was a lot of gaps here. Let's look at here. There was a hammerhead candle here, an inverted hammer. An inverted hammer candle here, already on its own is a sell. This is an inverted hammer, right? An upside down hammer. Already that's a sell, which is fine, right? But this is first candle. This is second candle, right? Now, market came to this area. Market, the gap that exists between this and this is already a fair value gap. Market try as much as possible to retrace and touch it back. Sell will always also continue to happen. Sometimes you might not see full sell. You might not see full touch. Sometimes you might see a touch that is did not touch, but try to touch. Be confident with the seller as well. Let me repeat. Sometimes you might not see full sell. Sorry, you might not see full touch. Sometimes you might see a touch that tried to touch. Sell. And confidently sell. Market has sold from all the way to from here down to here. All of a sudden, there was now a new gap. First candle, second candle, third candle. The candle started at this place. Sorry, the first candle ended here. The third candle ended here. The gap that exists between the both of them is fair value. The third candle opened, tried to touch it, and buys began. Right? I said to buy. So let's assume that you were somewhere around here. For example, you were somewhere around here. Let's say market was around here. Would you continue to sell if you see something like this on your chart? Let's say this has not happened yet. Let's say all these things have not happened yet. Would you continue to sell or you continue to buy? Obviously, personally, I'll continue to buy. In as much as, yes, on a longer time frame, remember, indicators are like confirmations. Indicators are confirmations. Indicators cannot really tell you everything that you need to know about the market, but indicators are confirmations. Just like the way we use MACD and RSI and Ichimoku Cloud and SMC, the same way you can also start making use of FVG, right? FVG might not really work for people that trade long term, but it might as well work very well for people which swing for scalpers. Normally, this is giving me reversal, double bottom shit, right? This is giving me reversals. This is giving me, on a normal look at it, it's even giving me, I don't want to say butterfly, but like something. I don't know, it's just giving me something, right? Again, I don't want to force it. I'm seeing a W, right? I'm seeing a W. But in as much as I know that on the overall movement, it's probably going to buy, right? It's probably going to buy. This was a wedge, but the wedge is spot already. Right? This is probably going to buy. This is going to buy, but it might not buy. It's using this brush. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to look at this on overall trend. All right. So let's make use of the overall trend movement. Let's see CHF JPY. We're on GBP CHF. GBP CHF. Good. So in as much as on the overall, like if you look at this market on overall time frame, like if you look at it on a daily time frame, right? It's kind of giving a double bottom-ish. Am I lying? No, is this true? Is this kind of giving a double bottom type of movement? Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Or maybe I'm doing seeing something else. I can see shoulder, I can see head, I can see another shoulder trying to form. Guys, yes or no? For those of us familiar with double bottom. Okay, so Justin says yes. So since Justin has said yes, then we are cool with it. If you don't know what double bottom means, you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll learn it in your next future. Right? So on a double bottom type of movement, me personally, I know that this market is going to buy. Right? But this market might not really buy that much. The way I want it to buy. Like, sorry, it will buy, but it's not going to just buy like that or like move up and just buy and buy and buy. There's going to be a lot of drawdowns at some point. right? So now looking at GBP CHF on a 30 minutes time frame, you can see after there's a gap here, market came, touched that gap, touched the gap space, and pushed back up. That's why we're in a buy and we're making profits. Because even when before I gave that buy, I already saw this. And when I gave that buy, market was around this area, around 900 or so. This has already formed if I give that buy. Honestly, that buy is not going to stop anytime soon. Because whatever is happening currently, like, oh, it's selling, it's trying to have a drawdown. That drawdown we just last year touched the gap again and bounce up. This is what is going to happen. This is what is going to happen. And because it is not going to just buy, because it's not just going to buy, it's not just going to buy forever. It's not just going to just vam and go up. It will get here, to get here, touching this red gap. Either it stops here with that buy and retraces and sell, or it stops in between the middle, or it stops somewhere around here and retraces and sell, and it will sell down. And once it sells down, it will still have a bit of maybe like a short sell or something like that around this area, and then the market will still move up and buy. This is probably what's going to. This is likely what is going to happen. Right? This is likely what is going to happen. So your gaps are like your supports and your resistance. In terms of the sell, it is a resistance area. And once it touches it, it sells. 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 Once FVG touches anything, it's a sell. It just sells. Right? Even if it doesn't touch it fully, it sells. So if you're ever trading and you see something like this appear, just know that maybe you were selling or you were buying, just know that you're on the right track, man. And confidently do it. All right? If you've seen anything like this, it's an indicator. People say it's a strategy. I see it as an indicator, just to indicate. Right? Just indicates. Guys, can you all still hear me? Yeah, my Zoom for some reason closed and restarted again. Right? So as I was saying, I'm trying to implore SMC. Yeah. Same thing. Right? Same thing. So either the market moves here, as I said, either it moves here, either this buy is not ending anytime soon. This GBP JPY is not going to end anytime soon, at least around 112, 200, 11300 areas. And when it gets to this area, somewhere this area, it then refreshes back and probably sell. And once you do that selling, it's going to bounce back up and sell even higher, right? So we're expecting at the end of the day, GBP CHF to get to somewhere around here. And that's the reason why I said, when I gave this signal, that's the reason why I said it's a long buy. So you're going to see a lot of downs and up. You might be in so much profit in the morning, in the night, in the afternoon, you're like seeing losses because it retraced back, right? But we are not swing traders, so we might not even wait for it to get all the way to this place. And my target is around somewhere here. At least it will be in it for the longest and longest of time. So if you close your GBP CHF early, if this thing happens in the next 2 days or before Friday, this up movement happens before Friday, you might miss it. And you don't want to miss it. All right? So try as much as possible to, continue to be on the trade. So SMC and value, saying the same thing. Value is just a simple indicator, just to show you certain things about the movement of the market, imbalances that happens between the market, in the market, gaps, unnecessary gaps, important gaps as well that happens in the market. Somebody said I should check on gold with this. That happens in the market, right? So it's just left for you to know when to buy. And as I said, I know some of you like using RSI now. For those of you that I talk to very well, that we communicate. Some of you like using RSI now. Some of you like using what is it called? Some of you like using MACD. Some of you like using SMC very well here as well. So I'm sure, and some of you also like using cloud, Ichimoku, Kinko Hayo, right? I see some of you using it as well. So the essence of me to introduce you to some of this is just for confirmation. So in the future, when you trade, you will have things that will help you. For example, gold, this cloud is very thick. This cloud is thick. One of the reasons why gold was able to penetrate, and you can see, it could even break past the cloud. It tried. News came, and you can see how it couldn't, because this cloud is thick. When you use Ichimoku, you will know where a market is so thick and the market is so strong. For example, around this area, the cloud is very thin. That's why gold was able to break here and went above. Also, when it did so, there was a gap here. So when the market touched here, retraced, so buy was definitely going to happen. There was a gap here. Market touched here, retraced it, buy happened. Right? In as much as all the whole news and everything, I was been thinking maybe gold will go to 1960, because honestly, we were waiting for it to. Remember, I told you the reason why I said yesterday. I've seen this based on I saw this based on why I saw this using gap. Who can remember the areas I said we should buy? That's we should wait for gold so we can buy. Who can remember? Who can remember? Anybody? Yeah, 1960, 1966, according to Ralph, according to what Ralph said. And honestly, after Ralph said what he said, I just needed to come to my laptop to check. Okay. Guys, please hang on. Let me go. There's never light. And when Ralph said what he said, I was like, okay, Why is Ralph saying 1960 something, 1960 something? One of the things that just helped me to just confirm on it is this. This is a fair value gap area. This is 1960, 1961, 1962 areas. So anything that's going to make this market to break past this cloud is here. Is going to come down to this place. When it comes down to this is a place of reversal. And it's going to come, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it's news. But definitely it's going to happen. And let me tell you where it will happen. Here, this area. Remember, cloud will always show you things that will happen in the future. Here is weak. The cloud here is not weak. So anything that will make the market to break here, make the market to, after all this one that gold is doing, anything that will make it to come here and break and is going down. So this 1960, 1962 may not happen this week. It may not happen now. It may happen on Friday. It may happen on Monday. But it's going to happen. Right? A lot of people are probably not, a lot of people are waiting for this area. I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for it. They're waiting for this area to come. They'll break it here. This is weak. This is my telling you, I'm weak. Oh, this area, cloud's already telling that I'm weak over here. Anything might cost me for me to break here. I'm coming to this area. Right? And the same thing, so we just have to wait for it. Right? We just have to wait for it. The cloud has been very thick. That's why, if you notice, market has been doing 1971, 1975. It came down, touched 1971, went back up. Came down again, touched 1971, 1972, went back up. Came down, news made this happen. He tried to break this thing, this thickness, this red line is thick. The Ichimoku cloud shows you how thick an area is. And when you say thick, what do you mean? That buyers and sellers are struggling in that particular area. And that's why gold is neither passing 1976 or going below 1972. Buyers and sellers are dragging. This is a very strong supply and demand zone. It's just happening today. Now, in the next 1 hour, they are supplying. In the next 2 hours, they are demanding. Just going back and forth. That's why this is happening. That's why there's a thick cloud here. But the cloud also predicts in the future that to get a time, buyers, they will just get tired and they begin to sell. So we should wait for it here. And that's what happened here. Weakness, thin. The cloud over here was thin. It was thin. So the market was able to. And as I said, the time I looked at cloud, when there is more space between the market and the cloud, higher chances of buys, and it's incredibly happened. And it happened well. Sadly, I did not look at Ichimoku cloud when this buy happened. Some of us, we missed this buy anyways. Some of you that like gold so well, you always buy in every movement of gold. You're able to catch it. Cloud thickness, cloud resting. Cloud was very thick. Cloud was weak. It broke. When it broke, the cloud went below. Cloud was thin, went above it. Cloud is weak, broke it. Retested it. Normally, when it retests, supposed to break, come down, but it did not because the cloud was thin, broke, went above it. Right? This is where the last candle ended. Here, the last candle ended. There were 3 candles, 1 candle, 2 candle, and 3 candle. Right? The last candle ended here. The 3rd candle was here. The 3rd candle happened, and the space that exists between both of them, there was a value gap. Sell. Right? There was a value gap. It sold. Let me remove Ichimoku cloud and let's concentrate more on the FVG. No. Please hang on, guys. Trying to remove cloud, but I don't know, it's not showing me where to. Right? There's a gap, there's a candle, there's a 3rd, 2nd candle. This is where the first candle ended. This is where the second candle, the third candle touched sell. There was a candle. The first candle ended here. The third candle touched it. There was a gap, right? The fourth candle then came within this cloud. If I saw it at this place, buy. Market went up, retraced, came back to this candle. It did not pass. Yes, it broke a bit, did not pass. Market bought. Market went up. A gap was formed there. Market went up, but retraced down. When it retraced down and touched this cloud, look at where we found it at. If you are trading and you want to be using gap to really help you, right? If you are trading and you want to imbibe gaps to it, honestly, you are seeing what it's doing here. It will really help you. Gaps will show you areas of supports and areas of support that you can re-enter the markets and rebuy, right? Guys, does anybody have a question concerning this? There was the first candle, there was the third candle, there was the third candle. The gap that exists between the both of them happened. A fourth candle appeared, market bought drastically. Same thing here, market bought. The same thing here, market bought. Same thing here, market bought. Market has been buying, gaps have been appearing, market has been buying. Now I even want to see what happened here because it'd be like there's a lot of gaps as well. There was a first candle, there was a third candle. Market then came down here and bought back up. Right? So if you have seen markets at this area, it bought back up. Then as it bought, it came down again, touched within the candle, bought back up. So if you would have bought from 1975 to at least 1979. Not really a much movement, plenty movements, but it shall happen. Right? And since then, the market has been consolidating. So remember, indicators will show you about the markets, but cannot 100% accurately determine that market. I'm seeing a lot of messages, so I guess there's a lot of questions as well. Expect gold to touch within the areas of 1975 and push up back. When it does, there is a red box here, a red gap here. So I just reached 1977. And return back. Yes, the gap is not that big, likely to happen. When it does so, it comes to 1973. If it doesn't break the cloud, it will continue to consolidate. Questions? I'm just entering. Can we use FVG? Can we use FVGs when trend is consolidating? Honestly, I will not say yes, because you can see what is happening here. Short movements, tiny movements. Why are you telling me to buy from here? Then you are already having another gap here from 1975. That's a very short movement. So you can see what's happened here, trending. So I will not advise FVG for a trending market, sincerely. Where do we apply FVG? Resistance or support? The ones that have been showing since are for buys, supports, right? Buys are for supports. Buys happens as a support. Sales happens at a resistance. You can apply it anywhere, depending on the trend of the market. All these ones were support areas, and markets has been buying. So we look at the third candle always, the third and the first candle, the space that exists between the third and the first candle. If the fourth candle appears, if it touches the gap, if it doesn't touch the gap, just buy. But you make more money, or you are very much 100% assured when it touches the gap. Quickly, after this call, you will rewatch the video. Good, they buy, they fly up, by the hold, sell. No. Another question, guys? Any other question? In the last 2 months, we have been able to look at FVG. We have been able to look at FVG. Sorry, today we looked at FVG. 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, we looked at Ichimoku clouds. 2 weeks, 3, 4 weeks ago, we looked at moving average, divergence, convergence, MACD. 4 weeks ago, we looked at moving average. We looked at both of them together. Weeks and weeks ago, we looked at relative strength index. And even more weeks ago, we looked at smart money concepts. As time proceeds, we are going to look at a lot of indicators. The essence of me doing all these indicators is to show you, you end up liking 99% of people or 90% of people in the group or anywhere else always prefer smart money concept, SMC. Not as rarely do people use Ichimoku cloud. I'm sure if you ask somebody who is a trader, what does the Ichimoku cloud is? Just please take it as a test. Ask anybody on your that you know that trades on your status. They might probably not be here. Ask them, do you know what the Ichimoku cloud is? You get more news than yes, because it's not a common indicator, right? MACD is very common. RSI overcommon the warrior, right? Fair value gap not common, but as time goes on, you will end up liking some of them. My favorite is SMC and Ichimoku cloud. I've been using Ichimoku cloud for a year. And honestly, 90% of the time is always correct. Right. So as time goes on, you will find out more. Next week, we will look at other block. Upper week, we will look at Bollinger Bands. Right. So every week, we'll look at different indicators or maybe a strategy. And while looking at that strategy or that indicator, we will always, as much as possible, try and rephrase back to the former ones that I've looked at. And you can see I was talking about FVG this evening, and you can see how I went back again to clouds, Ichimoku clouds, and also looked at SMC on the same thing. And closely enough, you can see how all of them were still talking about the same movement or the same support area or the same resistance, right? Indicators will not make you a better trade, will not make you 100% money, but they will help you to reconfirm your analysis. What did I say? Indicators will not help you. That's why they are called indicators. They help you to indicate. They will help you to reconfirm what you already probably think you know already. They'll just help you to say, yes, I don't check I'm on RSI. I don't check I'm on FVG. I don't check I'm on SMC. I've seen it on MACD. They are still saying the same thing. So this buy is a sure buy. This sell is a sure sell, right? How do you know the thickness of the clouds? It's shown already. For those of us that are new, we have a recap of all these strategies. Yes, there's a video of all of them. Can you please help check Euro GPY? Is FVG applicable on phone? No, you might not really understand it on phone, but yes, it's applicable, right? You will treat them, I mean, the indicators. Yeah, you might not really understand. Laptops are usually the best. Somebody said we should look at, how do you know the thickness of the cloud? So let's remove FVG and go to, let me remove the FVG and then look at, cloud. Let's use 0 JPY as an example, as Ayo said. So hang on, guys, it's loading. I have to round up. I have a quiz tomorrow, so I need to go and read. No, it's not showing. Let me really retype that again. Or is it my network? Okay, let me refresh. Please, boss, touch MACD small, I beg. closely watching this. You should closely watch it as well. Let's see what will happen. We're going to see if it will come back. Then prove that this FVG thing is actually what we say it is. So as to look at clouds, let's look at cloud ion. Remember, when it touches the gap, it can either touch the top of it or touch the middle of the gap, right? Top of it or middle. This is, okay, sorry, I'm looking at CHF-JPY, forgive me. Ayo, you said Euro-JPY. So let's look at it using the cloud. Why? First of all, let's remove cloud first. Let's remove cloud. And let's see what this is saying on Euro-JPY on 1 hour time frame. There's the first candle. There's the second candle. There's the third candle. The space that exists between the both of them, fair value gap. A massive buy happened. Market then went up, came down, touched the gap. Buy started to happen. Yeah, this buy is not really buying. But sincerely, if you had entered the buy from 1956 350 to 1956 500, you would have made something. Right? You would have made something. And honestly, personally, I don't think this buy is done. In as much as yes, we're having a sell here, I still see something like this happening. Right? I still see something like this happening. Support, bam, push up. You can see how even FVG helps you to confirm. So imagine if I see something like this and I bought. I thought I'll make money from year to year without even doing too much. First candle, second candle, third candle. The gap that exists between the both of them, market bought. Market then tried to retrace and retouch the area, did not really retouch it, still bought. Market came down, still, now in this case, touched the area, bought. I think you need to start using gap, even for your own self at this point. Right? Let's remove gap and let's look at cloud and what cloud is saying. Market touched the cloud. Cloud is a support. Bounced on the cloud. Went up. Market came down. Tried to touch the cloud. The cloud is thick. Went up. Market came down. Touched the cloud. News made this break. But at the end of the day, still push back up. Market is likely to come down here. And it is also likely to break past this place. But don't forget that when there is more space, when there is space between an Ichimoku cloud and the candlestick, when there is a daylight space between an Ichimoku cloud and the candlesticks, 99% of the time, the market is going to continue to move up. Is that clear? Is that clear? This can happen. It will break and go down here and touch the cloud and bounce up, right? But also, one of the rules of Ichimoku is that when there is a daylight space, right? When there's a daylight space between the clouds, market is to buy. When there's a daylight space between the cloud and the candlesticks on a downtrend, market is to properly sell. Properly space, space, sell, sell, continue. Bigger space, sell, even continued. Right? And why do I say this is also supposed to happen? When there's a daylight space, buy will continue. Why did I say so? And what else will help me to reconfirm that this will happen? Support. Market came here, touched my support. What does the support means? A floor. When you touch the support, push back up, came down. We want to touch the support again. When it touches the support, what will it do? Push back up. When I applied the FVG saying, no problem. If it gets to the same area, there's every chance it will get here, push back up. You can see how all of them are confirming, going back and forth, confirming the same thing. Cloud has confirmed. When there's a space, it's going to push up. There's a support here, so you're expecting it to reach here, push back up. FVG saying, yeah, normally, if it goes up, come down. If it touches here again, push back up. What other confirmation do you think you need? Nothing. Anything that will make it to break here and do this news and nothing else. So you can go and check if there's any CHFJPY news anytime soon. So if it's for CHFJPY to continue to sell, I do not personally and technically, sentimentally, and fundamentally, I don't see that happening anytime soon. This sell, this buy is going to continue. On a longer time frame, it's an uptrend. Buy, it's going to definitely continue. Ralph said buy yesterday, and he said that buy around this area or somewhere around here or so. Has been trying to buy. I can't remember what he said, but I think maybe around here, somewhere around here, Sha. Has been trying to buy. He said it's here. I think he said it here. 4 hours, let's say a whole day. Let me not go back there. But I mean, yeah, somewhere around here. I can't remember. It's on my phone. And since then, it has gone up, bought, dropped down, still going to buy. It's an uptrend. You should be looking for buys. And you have seen things confirming. FVG, cloud, your support and your resistance is also confirming it. What else should we look at? Somebody said we should look at MACD. Let's see where the MACD is. Let's make the MACD bolder. Once you touch on MACD, okay, sorry, not MACD. Moving average, exponential. MAC. Moving average exponential. And then what do? We make moving EMA. Sorry, EMA. Yeah, EMA. What do? We set it to 200. We set it to 200. We set it to 200. I hope that changes. So to make it thicker. Sweet. We set it to 200, and MACD is telling you, MACD is below the candles. If a MACD is below a candle, MACD, the EMA line is below all the candles. Buy. It simply means he's buying. It's not all this small sell that is happening. It's not going to sell anytime soon. MACD, look at it. The MACD is below. Should I make it thicker? Let's turn it to 500, so we'll make it thicker. Clearly, MACD is below. Look at. MACD is below. And once a market is below, once the EMA line is below, the market is buy. Once the EMA line is above the market, sells. Once the EMA line is below the market, they were buys. So if you're having the EMA line below the candles, expect buys. And even if you're having a small drawdown on sales, it's going to go back. You can see how all the indicators have confirmed buys. Assuming I saw this MACD above these candlesticks, I'll start questioning it. But it's below. And it's not just below. It gave a lot of space. Assuming it was somewhere around here, maybe it was somewhere around here, I'll start questioning, but you can see the space. The space is spacing. The space is spacing. Telling you that na candles they control. Me, I could just lay down. They push the candle go up. So you can see how it's all confirming it. All right. So indicators will help you. Indicators will help you to confirm your analysis. Might not 100% say everything, but it will help you to confirm your analysis. And Ichimoku, what are the best parameters to set based? Is EMA line MACD? EMA line and MACD work hand in hand. You can use both of them simultaneously, or you can use them independently. Ichimoku, what are the best parameters to set based on best practice? I don't understand that question. How do I know when the news is out or decide to go to get the news as it's hot? It's FVG only used on 30 minutes frame. You can use FVG on even on 7 months time frame, any time frame that it is. Will you get FVG on 30-minute time frame? You can get FVG anyway. It's FVG only used on 30-minute time frame. If I turn this thing to 4 hours, FVG still appears. You can get all time. You can get all this thing on any time frame. Somebody asked, how do you get news? Forexfactory.com. That's where you get news from. One NSC for you. Forexfactory.com. Abi? Yeah, that's where you get some news from. So if you click on it, then you find news. Guys, I feel like I've answered all the questions needed to be answered today. Honestly, I have to go now. I have a quiz tomorrow, so I have to read and put something in my head so I will be able to write better. I hope you got this, and I hope you practice with this and make yourself a better trader. These are the things you need to work with. Trust me, once you do, you will stay more profitable and you make more profit.